Dyer's ban.
Alright, good evening ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a tournament that I am very, very excited about. This is the ESL Go4Dota Cup. The way this basically works is it's a weekly tournament every Sunday for semi-pro teams, people who you'll kind of be seeing either in the Premier Division of the JDL MLG or maybe in Division 2 just itching to get up there. And then there's a monthly big scrim right at the end of it to decide an overall winner for that month. And this is going to be going on every week. I'm not going to promise I'll be casting every Sunday, but there'll be these matches will be going on come rain, shine, or sun. Wow, this is a quick draft. Well, we are here. It is 5 pencils, 1 case gaming up against Can't Describe, and I'm just about to go and join my co-casters over in the TeamSpeak channel, and we will be kicking right off. Hello, Stevensons.
Hey.
How are you guys doing?
Good.
Lovely.
I thought I'd have a lot of time to do a nice, calm, relaxed intro, talk about the tournament a bit. I was wrong. So, David, what do you think about the incredibly swift picks and bans?
Nothing that shocking. Tree and pick early for the Radiant, so perhaps looking to turtle up or be very aggressive, one of the two. And Earthshaker ban and IO bans are both perhaps, I'm guessing, respect bans for their respective teams.
Yeah, I gotta say, I'm surprised Troll wasn't banned. I mean, there was that recent statistic flying around Reddit. What was it? Picked or banned in every single one of the last 300 pro tournaments, and I don't think,
March 30th.
Don't think we're going to be seeing any changes here.
Dyer's ban.
Yeah, Treant, certainly very dive resistant. Shadow Fiend, also, I do like the Treant with the Shadow Fiend, because of course Shadow Fiend is one of those heroes who you've got to be getting last hits early, and you can do that a little bit more if you've got the living armor there to protect yourself. You can be a little bit more aggressive going for them. Don't have to worry so much about being out of position.
Well, I like Dyer's response in being very aggressive. When you see this type of tree at Shadow Fiend, you know that you're not going to win static lanes. They definitely have the ability to turtle up and carry pretty hard with the Shadow Fiend, so that means you got to take it to them and make that thing happen, disrupt their plan. So I like the axe, a good idea.
Absolutely, particularly with a damage over time ability, which is great for getting rid of living armor, because you just cast it once, stand back, and you know, here's one I made earlier, all ready for you to kill. I gotta say, I do kind of prefer 5 pencils, 1 case as well, because in a team fight, the Troll Warlord is going to get right up to that Shadow Fiend, get him with a mischance, and take away a lot of his damage. Shadow Fiend's going to have to rush BKB if he wants to avoid that, which is going to stop the damage items. It's
won't help with call.
5 seconds.
What do you think about the the Witch Doctor ban? Very, very fond of that. Very strong hero these days, particularly because it's physical damage. The Clockwork as well. Great combo with the Shadow Fiend, and great setup for possibly leading into a tree and ulti if you're looking to set up on a 5v5 engagement. But the Can't Describe bans. What are your thoughts on those, Libby or David?
I love the Dazzle ban. Again, definitely I think we're seeing a dynamic here where the Dyer's going to want to be aggressive. Radiant's going to want to try to hold back. Dazzle, of course, great with these divey melee heroes that are going to want to get in there. Dazzle's great in lane with Axe if you want to try to do an aggro or duel or anything like that. Magnus definitely has a decent synergy with Troll. Has a lot of attack speed, and in his melee form, that cleave can be serious. And Troll farms pretty well. But he's not a super fast farmer, and Empower is a great way to fix that. Turns into more of a real hard farming one position. So Magnus ban is a little unconventional, but Magnus is definitely growing in the meta.
Also, a Magnus into a Berserker's Call would be not fun.
That's true.
Not be fun, particularly when the whirling axes are there to give everyone caught the mischance from Troll as well. Yeah, that would be pretty scary. And you're right, David. It's the thing with the Troll and the Magnus. You'd have the attack speed buff and the attack damage buff. So you're talking exponential increase in damage. Silencer picked up by 5 pencils. I think a fairly strong pick against a fairly cast-heavy team. Skyrath, interesting pickup. I'm a little bit scared for him. And then the Spirit Breaker, my favorite Barathrum.
Spirit Breaker will make it easy for you. Just follow the Spirit Breaker all game.
Yep, exactly. It's the camera control is going to be fairly simple. But what do you guys think of those?
Silencer, I'm guessing. I'm not sure. He's definitely a strong hero who's grown a lot in the meta recently. Slasher's build helped people realize that he can be a very active, dynamic one-position or two-position carry. And I wonder if they're picking him because they think he's a good Shadow Fiend counter mid. I can't really contest how well that is. He will have some DOT to clear off the nature's or the living armor potentially. So I'm guessing this is a preferred laning counter. That would be the most logical explanation that I can see.
Okay. I can see that. I mean, I've got to say one slightly interesting thing about this is, from what I heard from the admins, I think Can't Describe were the winners of last week's tournament. This is the second in the kind of weekly series that they're just kicking off. But right now I do kind of prefer Five Pencils, partly because the lockdown on Can't Describe looks really weak outside of the Treant ulti.
Yeah.
And I mean, Treant Shadow Fiend is a great combo. You know, you can skip the Shadow Blade on the Shadow Fiend, just go for more damage, but still do those kind of sneaky and Yule's tricks. But I don't know. Like, Skyroth's ulti is going to be difficult to land, I think, and I don't know. Not totally sold yet.
Yeah, I don't know. I think both teams' drafts are pretty solid. I would like to see some good counter-pushing, counter-dive coming out for the Radiant. I mean, the Treant's definitely helpful to somewhat extent, divey, but I would like to see someone with a good, solid, reliable stun, a good, like, you know, a more traditional one-position carry. Sven could work. But it's hard.
I mean, Sven is pretty squish.
Radiant team.
Yeah.
Especially against this early dive with the Night Stalker we're seeing now. His only real resistance to that is going to be having one Stormbolt to throw off, maybe when he's being dived, but as soon as Silencer hits 6. Maybe a Wraith King? If you can make sure you're not laying it against the Silencer?
Traditionally. I mean, if then again, you know, more and more Silencers are sort of avoiding Curse of the Silent as a major spell. It's the word of the street is that it's just not efficient enough to really focus on. So maybe that, but I think they're going to need some more AOE. And plus, anyone like Wraith King, I think, really suffers against Troll because you know, a simple blind is really going to hurt him if you're building him as a one-position carry. Someone like Sven, you can hope to stun and do a lot of damage in your initial burst, and I think that's what they need is some scaling burst damage. But there's not a great answer, but I don't know. I'm not as enthralled with the Dyer's draft as you are. I don't think it's bad necessarily. I'm not totally sure how they're laning it. I guess this is a support Night Stalker position 4, which is unconventional, but definitely somewhat popular. Definitely going with the divey things. There's no dispute about that. So a lot's going to depend on what they come up with for the next position 1 for the Radiant.
I think that's my concern. They're just so divey and they're so good at it early, while at the same time having Troll to secure late game. That I feel scared for them running into. I feel scared for Can't Describe having only really living armor as a counter to that. I mean, you can say, yeah, okay, well, Spirit Breaker can charge in, but that does not help in early game dives. It's not quick enough. He can TP and then charge maybe, but that's just throwing numbers at it. It's not having a draft that's resistant to it.
You know what might be interesting to see from the Radiant, and I don't think we'll see it, is someone who's elusive, maybe, rather than someone who's planning to fight against the dives. Like, I don't think Weaver's necessarily strong here because of the Silencer, but someone more in that ilk, who's happy to sort of dodge aggression, and some decent counter push. Even like a Gyrocopter, someone who can fight really early at level 6, isn't afraid to 5-man, but can still scale pretty well. There's not like an obvious answer here, which is potentially good for the Dire, but the Dire are putting a lot of risk on having successful early dives. If they don't work out, this Night Stalker's not going to get enough farm to be relevant, and he's not really much of a true position for support. They're going to potentially have 2 cores in the Axe and the Silencer who really depend on snowballing to be relevant in the late game. So they could even go with a relatively ungreedy position 1, like a Bristleback, who scales pretty well with farm. And is really not, but so afraid of diving heroes being, exceptionally tanky and survivable. I think they have options, even like a Phantom Lancer if you want to go for the more.
Queen of.
Oh wow! So it's Queen. All right, there you go.
There's your nuke.
Elusive. Burst damage.
Absolutely. I mean, the PL just got banned, and I was going to say we have got right down to the wire on the reserve time. So I think those last bans might have been really on point for both teams.
Yeah.
The Zeus would have been great for 5 pencils. It would have, as you said, meant the Silencer and the Night Stalker both going support, which is a bit iffy, but yeah, it could have been deadly. I think the 5 pencils draft to me. Perhaps it's because I play pub so much, but to me it looks a little bit like you expect to outskill. Perhaps you expect to outskill early. That's what you're banking on.
Yeah,
you're expecting to have it maybe at 10-5 at the 15-minute or 20-minute mark in terms of kills, and from there you've got the food for your Silencer and your Night Stalker.
So it's a support Silencer and Night Stalker. Wow, it's a very interesting draft.
What do you think of all this, Libby? Sorry we've been talking so much during the draft.
No problem. I'm just curious, were these two against each other last week, or did Five Pencils win against someone else?
They won the
I'm
whole
afraid I didn't.
tournament, so they played minigames.
Ah, okay.
So yeah, can't
The
describe
weekly
one the whole thing.
I'd get
And there were
ready
some
if
big
I were
names.
you.
Rise, some of my old favourites from the old community challenge games were must have been beaten. But yeah, do you guys want to
These two
introduce a
have faced
team?
each other.
Pick a team, Libby.
Ooh, okay, we got some Greek letters. I think I can handle CD. So on the QOP, we have that. Oh, I don't know if this is Cyrillic or Greek.
It's Cyrillic.
I'm gonna. Okay. Bearmare on the QOP.
Bearmare.
Bearmare.
Okay, good to know.
Not sure what that means at all. Imba on the Skyrath.
Oh, watch the TA here.
Oh yeah, hold one on that. They're going to get the charge out from Spirit Breaker. Not a huge stun yet, but it is going to get them just what they need to get that first blood. Now on a Spirit Breaker, that's huge.
Very aggressive.
Yeah.
That
A
is-
very happy
30
afterlife, I
seconds
guess,
to
on the
battle.
Spirit Breaker. Zonder on Treant Protector, and very appropriately, Ramses. No, not very appropriately. I thought that said Razum. Ramses 666 on the Shadow Fiend.
You've cursed me now, Libby. Every time I see that guy's name, I'm going to be saying Razum. Every single time. I
He's
can't.
going to be raising them, so you
Cannot be
safe.
cannot be unheard.
Ready.
Skyrath gets
When
a
you
little bit of
say
harass
so.
out off on the axe, and it's going to be both runes for the Radiant in addition to that nice first blood. That's
Yeah.
a big lead for Can't Describe. Looks like we're going to have Spirit Breaker harassing Biryu up here on the top lane. David, do you think you can introduce Dire in the short few seconds we have
Absolutely.
left?
So playing for our Dire team, we have Biryu on the Silencer, Haxai on the Troll Warlord, and then Phlox in the jungle on the Axe. Mid we have Never Say No to Otter on the TA, and Durum on the, what I'm guessing is going to end up being an off-lane Night Stalker, but not sure.
Well, I'm actually not sure about that. I think it's a roaming Night Stalker. I think they're using the axe to farm out the jungle for a little bit early. He's a little bit afraid. Then when he's got a couple of levels up, a couple of items, he's going to go down there and contest.
Alright.
Because what Radiant don't have really is a excuse me, is a position one whose farm you've really got to shut down. You know, they don't have the Medusa or the PA or
And he's
even
not much
Faceless
of a
Void.
laning matchup to the Quap.
Sure. I mean, Quap's going to be farming and ganking. It's kind of expected. I think maybe shutting down the Shadow Fiend might be.
But, I mean, I'm not sure I agree with this calculus, because as you're seeing here, Silencer now...
One moment, Ramsey's being brought very, very low on the mid, but same with Darum, and he's going to take the Skyrath arrest, which I think might finish him off.
Dire's
No,
bottom
not quite,
tower is
but
under attack.
Ramsey's able to get out as well. Two heroes being brought very, very low here, and Troll Warlord being picked off on top by this Spirit Breaker, so double kill for him. Sorry, David, you were talking.
No, please. I was just saying, it doesn't... I'm not sure I see the calculus here, because now Skyrath can just go mid and help Shadow Fiend, and so it'll be a 2-on-2 lane, which Shadow Fiend will probably be more or less fine with, and then Queen still gets free farm. I don't understand why there's no one bottom. I don't think that really makes sense. But they're clearly struggling to win their lanes as it is, so...
All I'm going to say is that I have seen that tactic used more effectively in recent stages of the metagame. Afterlife being brought hugely low here, but just going to charge straight out.
Night Stalker was supposed to be there to interrupt that charge as soon as it started with his Void, but really came up a lot closer than he needed to be and got hit by the charge. Let him get out across the hill.
Well, you can't interrupt a charge.
Dire's
It's
bottom
not channeled.
tower is being attacked.
He would have had to have got the silence off beforehand. So I think he was just actually a little bit late. Still more action going on though, as Zonda is being brought hugely low, getting nuked down by this troll, and that's the first kill on the board for 5 pencils. Shadow Fiend though gets another one for Can't Describe right off the bat. A little bit confused there as well about the plays. Razums, thank you Libby, is having a good time mid now.
Dire's bottom tower is under
You can't interrupt
siege.
charge if it hasn't. Void has a mini stun. It's not just a silence.
Oh, it has a mini stun. Okay.
Yes.
This is me not knowing my Night Stalker.
And
Not you not knowing your
a
Spirit
very
Breaker.
forgivable sin in the current meta.
Okay, so let's have a quick look at the items that are coming out on these guys then, because I think we're getting about that time. Troll, with Courier coming to him or something? That
Nope.
seems strange to me. I appreciate we're only 3 minutes in,
Dire's
but
bottom tower is under attack.
I don't know.
You're really
Not
losing
kicking
now.
ass on the last hits.
Or winning.
been under pressure a lot from this dual lane. But now Treant's gone with late wave pushed up, so he may get a little bit more farm.
Wow, this is Spirit Breaker. He's gonna
This Queen,
cause trouble.
I'm not sure if this is Treads or Midas, but he has excellent farm, of
Dyer's
course.
bottom tower is being attacked.
I think it's Treads.
Well, I mean, how often do you pick up the? I
Dyer's
suppose she has the
bottom
blink,
tower
so
is
she
under
doesn't need the
siege.
Right.
maybe the assumption of.
And
And
with
that's
true
going to be
free
decent farm there, yeah.
Dyer's
Gets a
bottom
tower last hit
has
and a catapult.
fallen.
Yeah, it was Treads. Okay.
Spirit Breaker picks up a haste on top. Just going to back out, but Dyer had actually rotated 2 heroes in to try and contest that,
Charge
so
middle.
that's not great for them. Charging middle. Going to get hit by the Skywrath harass as well. They're going to need to get rid of these refraction charges. They're gone now. Afterlife is going to be diving fairly low, but got living armor to help him out, and that's a kill on Never Say Otter, or whatever his name is. Afterlife with the haste rune is going to be able to get up to Darum here. If he can get a bash, then Raisin will be out of there. And there's a kill, but they do manage to finish off the Spirit Breaker as well. 6 for 2. Can't describe. Taking a fairly nice lead. Okay, hold on. Oh, right. Sorry, that confused me a bit. If you look at the gold graph, Can't Describe actually start off with a fairly significant lead, but that was what those
Dyer's bottom
2 runes
tower
do
is
for you, I
under
guess.
attack.
That helps.
It'll probably be fine.
And Queen of Pain. Really just having a good time down here. Those treads are finished that you were talking about. So Orchid next, I'm assuming?
To defend the tier 2.
Oh, Raisin being brought low mid, getting dived by 2 very good divers, but there's a charge and a living armor to help out here. Afterlife trying to get down on Darum, but not going to be able to get close enough or do the damage. And no kills.
They need DOT in this lane.
Well, both teams do. You know, it's living armor versus refraction. It's an interesting matchup.
Indeed.
And since Axe hasn't really been rotating into these fights, is that the only DOT in the
Charging
game? No,
silencer.
Quap has DOT.
We'll cancel. Call the bait.
This dire aggression spotted out here. As Night Stalker looking to move back over to the mid lane, I think.
It's only 5 minutes in, but all 3 top net worth heroes are on the radiant. The offlane Spirit Breaker has a higher net worth than the safe lane, now free farming Troll Warlord.
Yeah, that's painful. I mean, a lot of that's coming from.
Also hasn't. She's at level 7. Still hasn't put anything in Sonic Wave. I think she's just decided that they're going to let her push this bottom lane as hard as she
Yeah.
wants.
Let her farm. They actually bring a wand out ready on the inner stash. I'm not sure about that, but HP is useful. I would have just kept going with the farming and pushing on as well I could. Not going to be getting any charges on that, looks like, anytime soon.
Dyer's bottom tower is under siege.
I mean, they do have a bit of a concern, I think, in that they need to finish early. As I said, they can do as well as they want in the early stages of the game. I don't think Can't Describe have anything to match up against Troll late.
I don't know. I think the Shadow Fiend's a decent matchup, especially if he gets some type of mobility
Dyer's
item.
bottom tower is
They
under
have
attack.
some lockdown in team fights and burst damage to get him down. He doesn't have that much HP. I'm sure he'll go Scotty and Satanic potentially, but I think they can. I think they could go toe to toe in a late game team fight pretty comfortably. It's not like the Dire have a, you know, your Medusa, your AM as you were talking about earlier.
We'll put it this way: they Can't Describe don't really have any abilities that scale, right? Even Shadow
Sure.
Fiend's abilities, it's a flat reduction of armor and it's a flat increase in damage. They don't have any crits. They don't have any. Bash is a flat damage.
Sure.
I guess the only thing that you could even argue really scales in terms of right click is Spirit Breaker and his speed to bash damage bonus, but that's really sketchy. So I don't know. I mean, obviously it's going to depend on what 5 pencils one case can do, and this is certainly the kind of start you would need with a team that doesn't have any carry abilities. But I don't know. Just on the draft, I'd give them the late game. I think 5 pencils, but we'll see. Raisins. No, I'm going to call him Ramses. This is unfair. I shouldn't let Libby corrupt me like
Let
this.
my
Viryu.
dyslexia ruin the game.
Viryu spots him out there, but just going to keep on stacking. Oh, he actually didn't get that one. And the game's actually entered a bit of a quiet phase, which surprises me. I think it's largely, I suppose, because Dire are having to be a lot less aggressive in every lane. TA hasn't gone for a kill in a while. There's
Well, it's daytime. That's part of it.
sure. They got to do something though.
Yeah.
Troll's got his,
I mean,
his Morbid Mask up. But Afterlife with the Urn up, the Orb of Venom, he's got
Dyer's
Dust as
bottom
well, so
tower is
TA's never
under
going to be
attack.
safe.
Wait.
Axe
maybe
is
they're
still
not actually
pretty
damaging it.
pretty well away
They
from his
are.
blink. Only 1,300 gold in the bank. I mean, he's farming up now, and he'll get there in a pretty decent time moving forward. But I think we'll see probably around the beginning of the next night they'll be ready to be aggressive. Although here comes Trian into the enemy jungle. Has no wards, so just Trian things.
He's just curious, I think. Just curious. Just wandering in, saying hello.
You can always nature's guys away if he
Radiant's
feels
middle
afraid.
tower is being attacked.
I do agree with you
Axe
about
was
the
originally
Axe.
just an attack.
I think for what they wanted to do with it, they didn't do it very well. Like, he should have been stacking camps and harassing lanes, not just constantly farming single camps all through the early game.
I'm just not sure why draft an axe like this if you're just gonna jungle him. I think it would have been better to get an Enigma and then get someone who's gonna be able to lane semi comfortably in the bottom, Venomancer or something.
Oh,
Well, Axe was a fairly early pick.
Sure.
They may have decided to just give Troll Warlord as much opportunity for levels as possible.
This is part of why, even though Axe is, a very high meta pick, I'm not really a big fan of him as a early draft pick because fundamentally he's still pretty situational, in my opinion. I don't know.
big race here for top rune. TA's going to pick up a haste and also get charged. They're going to need a lot of stun lock to catch her. And yeah, Spirit Breaker's just going to back it out. They do manage to bait out the... Oh, never mind, not bait. They managed to kill the Silencer. I thought they'd baited out that Night Stalker ulti. But they're getting all the kills.
And now here comes Night Stalker in. Use Void to cancel TP.
Nice interrupt. They've got Call as well.
I felt that.
That's nice.
Honestly, this mid matchup is hilarious with Living Armor versus Refraction. It is so funny, but I don't think they're going to have Living Armor for this, because Tree will just have used it on the other lane. Ramsey Zoe with a mech, able to finish off TA, but in real danger here. Going to just try and nuke down this Night Stalker, but not going to be able to manage it. But here comes Afterlife. Where's the ult? There it is. No, the silence interrupts. Well played there from Biryu. And Afterlife.
Spirit Breaker had already cancelled the ult. I think he was trying to bait.
He does have the Troll slow, but Troll's forced off by Skywrath Mage. There's the ult from Afterlife. And a dead Troll. Well, that made it worth it for Can't Describe. Other than that, I was going to say I think this might be the first large engagement they've lost, but that made it worth it.
Tower is being attacked.
Absolutely.
XP graph, actually, by no means a lead for Can't Describe. It seems to be fairly even. The axe is... I suppose that's one thing you can say about the axe. When, there's no bounty hunter or bloodseeker on the other enemy team, you are getting free XP. I agree with you about the maths of it, but it is one way, if you want to be really careful and don't care giving free farm to the quap, that you are very, very safe in getting your axe up at some kind of regular-ish level.
It was only a 4,000 gold lead for the Radiant, which is less than I expected. So again, I think the axe is a big part of that. Farming pretty efficiently, all things considered.
Dyer's middle
I don't know about efficiently, as I said, I'm not sure about how he farmed the early game, but steadily.
I'm gonna try to go on this queen.
There's the silence, it's all they need, well played. And Night Stalker taking the kill as well, I think they need that. This is definitely a draft from Dyer where you want your supports to be getting the kills, and you want your carries to just be good at farming.
Big push on top for the Radiant.
Tower is being attacked.
I think it's probably going to be uncontested. Dyer would have to be pretty brave to contest this, and they've got Roche on their minds.
Dyer's top tower is under attack. Dyer's structures have
They
been
have popped the glyph
fortified.
just to hold up Radiant as long as possible. I think this is a really nice call from them. As soon as Queen's down, go for Roche.
The traditional, I'll take Roche, you take my other lane tier 1 trade. It's been going on since the days of yore.
The days of my what? I know, I'm good, I'm so good.
Dyer's top tower is under attack.
Alright, they have managed to push up to the tier 2 though. And that is a little bit more concerning. You don't want to be giving away all your jungle control this early. Dyer though don't seem to mind. They almost want to dive Queen again.
It's night, they want to fight. Oh, she goes in,
Fair
gets silence.
enough, and they get the silence. Living Armor has dropped down though. The Yule's is going to get rid of the silence duration, and we've got a charge coming out on Quap, on TA. And the Shadow Fiend coming from the other side. That's a beautiful catch up for Can't Describe. They haven't managed to actually finish anyone off though. And Skyroth is the first to go down. But there's the Queen of Pain scream. Floxplox is finished, but Ramses finished off as well with the other Requiem going down. Is actually decent damage for this Dire team, but I don't think Zonda is a hero to take advantage of it. Living Armor on himself again, but he's down. Meanwhile, Spirit Breaker does manage to finish off Night Stalker, and there is a buyback from Axe. And Quap blinks out of trouble as well. So that was... Oh, never mind. I'm not even going to try this guy's name. Cyrillic Letters is into trouble under the tier 1, but going to be able to get her out. Afterlife needs to switch over the aggro to the TA. He can get her. He can get her.
Ooh, well,
Goes straight down there. Aegis popped.
Axe has a call in 2
Straight back
seconds.
up.
He wants the Spirit Breaker.
Oh!
Not quite sure how that
timing.
worked, but it did something.
It did something.
I guess the call animation. I'm assuming I have a bit of client lag. That's what I'll go with.
I think that the charge came off just in time. Even without it though, Living Armor getting there that quickly, I don't know. Radiant very tank, much well.
But this was a good fight for the Dire, all things considered. As messy as it was. Nighttime, man.
And despite them having a buyback in the middle of it, I think that's a fair criticism. And they lost the Aegis, but look at that XP graph. They're now ahead. They've got the levels.
And only they came back a little bit in net worth. So I'd say overall for the situation, I'm happy.
Got a dive going on. Never say no to. Oh, that's such a weird name. Biryu hiding in the trees. Let's zoom out a little bit here and get a look, because I'm pretty sure Dire will be rotating in. Night Stalker coming in from the southeast. Zonda guising up and heading up into the Dire jungle. Wants to loop round behind, possibly get the. Oh, I thought they were going to drop down with a tree ulti on mid, but no, you're right. Yules goes down on Haxi as well, but he's just getting bashed. But there's a greater bash. Biryu forced to run out. They did lose the Skyrath, but Cyrillic Letters is going to be able to chase out Biryu. I think Radiant can take this mid tier 1. We do have a DD on Never Say No to Otter, but I don't think it's going to be relevant for when they're actually pushing.
Check out Spirit Breaker's inventory. It's our favorite item.
It's our favorite. Oh, Shadowblade Spirit Breaker. Not a fan, not going to lie. And he got rid of his dust! Sacre bleu!
See, I don't think it's gone invisible once, to be fair.
Yeah, I was wondering if that was the explanation for the First Blood, that she'd like skilled refraction by mistake and she was only that aggressive because she was planning on doing melds and that they wouldn't have sentries. It wasn't.
Spirit Breaker charge will reveal her, so that there's only so much good there.
Big blink over there from the Queen. That's a Skyroth mage. A Skyroth mage ult misses. And it's Silencer who's picked off in the jungle by Spirit Breaker, giving Can't Describe the reinforcement edge as it comes to this mid fight. Never Say No to Oda does get the refraction charges up, and Ramsey's a little bit too far ahead. Going to be able to tank up this tower with the Living Armor. Interrupted and Requiem by the Axe. Afterlife has arrived. Beautiful scream there from the Queen, and this is going to be a Shadow Fiend going down, but I think a good fight here for Radiant. Never Say No to Oda and the buyback Night Stalker, the only ones left. They do manage to finish off the Queen of Pain and get up force a buyback from her as well. Zonda, I think, going to be the sacrificial lamb here as Spirit Breaker looks to run out. These fights are being bloody.
Yeah, they really are.
Queen of Pain is back in, going for Never Say No to Water, but we also have Biryu rotating back in, and Afterlife dropping his charge down on Darum. He does not have his ult, which would have secured the kill there, but we do have Cyrillic Letters trying to come in, but it's not enough damage. Afterlife as well, disarmed, not able to get any right clicks off there on Darum, and going to have to force back. That was crazy. So the gold change is basically a 2,000 gold change in favor of 5 pencils, 1 case. A 2,000 XP change in their favor as well, although obviously some XP was earned by Can't Describe. But this is a crazy fight. What are your thoughts, Dave?
I'm impressed for a game that I thought would kind of be one-sided and would not be particularly exciting. These have been some really exciting fights. Buybacks this early, buybacks that make sense. Very competitive. You know, lots of mobility on either side. These have been intense. I'm pleased.
I'll give you that the buybacks were early. I am not sure that the buyback made sense.
Well,
that last one from the Queen of Pain, I don't think did much.
okay, the Queen of Pain one, yeah, that's true.
I don't think they've all been flawless. But yeah, there have certainly been some good examples. Effectively, I think what I'm saying is I like the 5 pencils buybacks. Not a fan of the can't describe ones.
I agree, and what makes sense. I wouldn't necessarily say they've all been what I would have suggested necessarily at the time, but logical buybacks that had some type of meaningful reason to it that I could understand the thinking of. Maybe not the Queen one.
But this is where I get concerned. If everyone's getting a bit of farm now, if the team fights can go either way, because I certainly wouldn't say that 5 pencils have got this in the bag. The team fights can still go either way. But with that, and assuming this continues, that troll, you know. You were talking about the shadow thing. I know I don't just want to keep disagreeing with you on this, but you're right, but for 5 seconds, because once that BKB wears off its 10-second cooldown, that mischance just neuters him.
Yeah, but
other than the one-trick pony of Blink, Yule's, Requiem.
Well, I think it's almost the opposite. I mean, he doesn't have a Blink, he doesn't have a Yule's. I like what he's going for here. I think Shadow Fiend doesn't play your sort of what is now considered the traditional Shadow Fiend of initiating, of going for burst damage, but he actually tries to stay back and fight as a carry, as a drow who's not looking to deeply engage in fights. I think he's going to go like Manta Scotty, something like that, and not try to be mixing it up, because I think you're absolutely right, it doesn't make sense with the troll.
But here's
again,
the thing.
though, go ahead.
With your drow, you get plus 80 damage, and because it's agility, you also get all of that in attack speed as well. With Shadow Fiend, you get plus 72 damage if you've got a load of last hits. And that's the carry ability. Nothing, you know. I would have loved the drow.
Sure.
And I think she's better at it than the Shadow.
Speaking of which,
Ramsey's in trouble. Living armor has gone down, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Oh, that was a pretty epic quell. There's a regen rune there that they all just ran away from. Not sure if that was intentional. Or they were saving it for the TA, probably.
Losers trying to be good teammates or something.
Forget teammates.
But I mean, to me, the real issue here, though, is not just an issue of teamfight scaling. I mean, Treant Protector changes games. He puts a whole different dynamic here. I mean, they're only now getting their first tier 1 because the Shadow Fiend got really caught out, way out of position, walking through the wrong side of the river. But it's going to be very hard for them, I think, to take objectives, because, you know, once Troll gets going, that's some ability to take towers quickly, but no one else on their team is really that strong of a pusher. TA has gone Desolator, which I think is a good call, but they're going to have to win team fights pretty hard, I guess is what I'm trying to say, to win this game. There's one way to victory, and that is take an aggressive team fight on the enemy side of the map and win it hard. And if they can do that, then they certainly, you know, anyone can win the game for doing that. But they don't have what I like to call the easy path to victory route of either just being so strong at a particular point or being really strong split pushers. They're just gonna have to take it to them and win. There's no way around it.
So I think I agree. I mean, the tier 1's not too much of a problem. I mean, we got a good pick off from the Shadow Fiend. Radiant didn't even test. Actually, one moment, as we do have a charge going down to Otter here. But Otter has all kinds of friends, and Afterlife is going to suffer for that. Are they going to be able to get more? Possibly, as the room manages to get the silence down on the Cyrillic letters. And a quick blink out is going to see Quap safe. But that's a Roshan for the Dire. And I got to wonder what the admins are saying, because as I say, my tip for this match was that Can't Describe had won in the previous tournament. But,
I gotta say that it looks like Night Stalker's going for BKB. I would really like to see him build an Orchid this game. Night Stalker often really struggles to get more mana, and they really need that extra silence to actually get that queen off after she yules off the first one. Maybe even Sansa goes Orchid once he gets a bit of farm. They just really need a way to lock her down.
Of course, it should be said, David always wants everyone to build an Orchid.
No. Not.
Oh, beautiful call there onto Otter, and this is just pick-off after pick-off here for 5 pencils.
I only want someone to build Orchid in life.
Oh, but they do get the tree ult down. I'm not entirely sure what the plan is here, because they don't have...
I think he thought he was revealed.
Oh, right, okay. Based on...
Well, I think they revealed
Shadow
the
Fiend.
TA earlier with the
My gosh, friend. You are brave. Ramsey's pushing right up to the tier 3 there, and gonna get punished for it.
He really should have been doing that when they knew that he was in Roche. I mean, when he knew that they were in Roche, he was just
Well, he was dead.
pushing a bit with illusions and farming the jungle, but he really should have been forcing that tier 3 earlier on when he knew where they were.
The tier
he
2
he
was
was-
still up at that point, though. The creeps took that one.
Okay, maybe I'm confused.
Dire Courier carrying a point booster out for Durham on the silencer, so I think that's silencer, right?
I think it's going to Night Stalker.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
Night
he's
Stalker.
building Ags,
Oh yes, of course. The beautiful Ags Night Stalker, the best
which
vision.
I do like. Ags Night Stalker is so great. I don't know how strong it
Oh,
actually.
another big blink call, and Axe finishes off the tree and protector, and they're going for more, but the Queen Scream gets so much damage done that they manage to get the Aegis pop from the Templar Assassin, but that's not enough to take the fight. They need to back out here, and it's Imber who might be in trouble. There's going to be another call in a sec, but they don't even need it. They're just chasing the Spirit Breaker. All the rest of the team is dead. And can't describe, just don't seem to have control anymore. None of
Really
these fights
don't.
are going their way.
Well, they're not really taking fights. They're just getting picked off. And I'm not really sure why. And Shadow Fiend, I mean, they're going to have to let this tier 2 go, I guess, but Shadow Fiend's back split pushing top. But he doesn't have a mobility item. I don't understand why he thinks that he can be this greedy with his rotations against the blink from the axe. And
Also-
Night Stalker during night.
That's not what you want your position 1 to be doing. Unless they're
Yeah.
built for it, like, I don't know, a PL
Yeah.
or a Medusa or a Naga. You know, most position 1s, you farm in your jungle. Dire are backing off after taking the tier 2. Night Stalker wants to chase down the Spirit Breaker, but a nice
Dire's
juke into the
bottom
trees here. He
tower
needs
is
to get
under
further
attack.
into the...
Not that I-
He's caught.
Dire's bottom
He's
tower
caught.
has been destroyed.
He'd be able to just charge
There's
out.
a
Yeah.
charge.
Top
Well, it was
tower is
close.
under
Did you see
siege.
that axe blink?
Yeah. I think Spiritbreaker's done an amazing job this game at getting off charges that hit multiple people, that hit people at the right time for him to escape and win team fights. So, win or lose, I gotta give props to Afterlife on the Spiritbreaker this game. Really great play.
Radiant's bottom tower is
Also,
look at
Orchid is just really good. Sorry.
Back to that. Dire looking to push down the tier 1 bot. I think we see their
bad
strategy
violence.
now. Shadow Fiend finishing off the TA.
Radiant's bottom
And that's
tower has been
842 gold for him.
Now, clearly ahead in kills. Being
Is
so
that-
far behind.
That's actually, that first big team fight where I was saying, wow, look at the change. That 1 kill on the TA was an equivalent XP change and
Dire's middle tower is
wow,
under
and an
attack.
equivalent gold change.
Dire's
That is
structures
crazy,
have been fortified.
because they got all of the assist gold. TA lost
Dire's
tons.
middle
It was
tower
actually
has
another
been
2k
destroyed.
switch just on that 1 kill.
People often forget that, you know, people like, oh, let me get this kill solo so I get
Dire's
XP.
middle tower
And there's
is
some
under
logic
siege.
to that, maybe in their early laning phase, but kills that involve your whole team give you dramatically more farm than
Dire's
kills that are done by a
middle
single
tower is
person.
being attacked.
Dota is designed by Ice Frog, hallowed be his name,
Dire's middle
to
tower
reward
is
team
falling.
play.
Radiant's bottom
They
tower
do have a
is
charge
being
going down
attacked.
onto room. They're gonna get it, but they're right onto the high ground here. This is a big risk. I don't think Afterlife was counting on that. They're brought low, and the Skywrath ult just doesn't manage to make a huge difference there. Neither does the Shadow Fiend ult. They do manage to take off Haxley, but he's got his BKB popped. He's not in danger of dying, and that's Spirit Breaker for Night Stalker.
Radiant's bottom tower is being attacked.
And everyone flees.
Blood.
Does Quap have
Dire's
mana for a
middle
blink?
tower
Yes, she
is
does.
under attack.
You say, does Quap have mana for... Oh, I see. Oh, yeah, I was thinking Blink Dagger. I was like, Blink Dagger doesn't cost mana anymore.
Aha, I see what you did there. So that was okay. Let's have a look at our XP graph. I mean, you know what? If you're at 14,000 behind and you can chew off a
Yeah.
fight that gets you to 10,000 behind, then when you're at 10,000 behind, you can chew off another 4 fights to get you back to where you started.
Well, the rubber band is, you know, what to remember is a lot stronger for XP than net worth because Ice Frog wanted it to be big, and people pay attention to net worth and they don't pay attention to XP. So,
Right.
So
that's true.
You know, trades matter when you're behind XP wise.
And the way the game works with the XP being slightly easier to come back from, that actually this is the comeback that you want to be doing if you have to have a comeback. They're not that far behind on gold. In fact, if they come back on XP, they'll be ahead on gold. If they can get those team fights, that will skyrocket them ahead on gold.
Queen's going for Axe, which I like Queen Axe, but I miss the days when people would go Axe first on Queen because it's a very flat change. It's a great flat change, but now that it's pure and goes through BKB by default, I really think if you're going to get Ags on Queen, it should be your first item. The Yules has been great, but I'd like to see her going for more of a right-click item, like Scotty or something at this point, because she needs to start really scaling and making a difference in this fight, and she needs to tank up.
Agreed. I got to say, for a fairly recent convert, I love the Scuddy. I see your screen there hovering over the attempted dire smoke gank, which is sadly going to miss everything.
Those are the sad ones.
What do you think Spirit Breaker goes next?
Spirit Breaker? Orchid. No, I'm kidding. Let's see. I mean, it'll probably be a BKB. That would be the natural choice.
BKB Ags, I think.
I don't think he's gonna go Ags.
I mean, what have they got that goes through the Troll Bash will go through BKB. The Culling Blade will go through BKB, but that's not the lockdown he's really scared of. Yeah, I suppose BKB. Sorry?
But, I mean, BKB isn't great this game. I think it's mainly just a blind, like you talked about, is probably the biggest thing. If Spirit Breaker can't right-click in fights, then he can't really do anything in fights after his first bash.
Well, he can with Ags, every 12 seconds at least. But no, I see.
Sure.
I mean, BKB Ags, that would be ideal. Cyrillic Ledder's in real trouble here. Culling Blade to finish, and they're going to use that movement speed to...
Yeah, she could have easily walked away, and she just blinked out like she was going to run away and said, you know what, I'm just going to turn around and throw this dagger at Night Stalker. It's not like he can silence me, and then his team can come in and kill me or anything. Really unnecessarily greedy play from the Queen. You know, this is those types of games where, you know, I could see Can't Describe maybe being considered the better team on paper, and they're playing like... Excuse me, they're playing like they're just going to win because
Spirit
they're better.
Breaker, one moment, spotted out by the Obs during a charge on the TA. Going to be gone on by the entire rest of the Dire team and just nuked down so quickly that there's no chance of a rotation.
Ferber.
You were saying?
I was just saying that they're playing like they're just going to win because they're the better team, but they're doing some things that are just dumb that I'm pretty sure they know not to do.
Radiant's bottom tower is being attacked. Dire's top tower is being attacked.
As do we all.
I don't think this game is over though. I mean, there's still a lot of potential damage coming out for the Radiant, and when they've actually been grouped and taken fights and not continue to push after buybacks and not feed away getting ganked in cases where they clearly should have backed up, they've done well. I think they've just not been playing very crisply for a team that's had the success that they seem to have had in the past.
I mean, this is a stage for me where I'm really worried for Can't Describe, because you were saying before, you know, well, Shadowfiend will scale well, he's got decent right click and you're right, and I was saying, well, the BKB counters him a bit. The real problem for Can't Describe to me is that BKB counters them a lot, and we're going to be getting BKBs coming out now. We've already got it on the, let's see, not the TA, yes on the Troll, no on the Axe, but yes on the TA.
I don't understand why the Radiant is resorting to this split push tactic, which isn't working and which isn't really necessary. They should be together, they should be farming safely, dewarding their jungle, because it's picked off. It hasn't worked really at all throughout this game. And I worry that now it's too late. They've gotten themselves into too deep of a hole, and I think, yeah.
We're going to see one big difference here, because now they are going to start getting the tree ults up. Although, of course, they immediately start getting dewarded thanks to the Night Stalker Ags gem.
Yeah, that's why you buy Ags and gem a Night Stalker. We used to do this back in the old days when we were at MMRs where Ricky was really scary. You know, same thing.
Night Stalker gem.
Stalker gem.
Too scary.
Although Ricky's still good for the record.
I was going to say, did I really just hear you say when we were in a Ricky meta? I thought every meta was a Ricky meta.
When other people used to think, I don't know. Back when we had the good Ricky.
I got you. Okay.
Stupid Ice Frog. Ruined everything.
And Roche is up. Axe with an Invis rune. I think probably going to be the guard.
Yeah.
In this engagement. Troll, interestingly, still with just the Morbid Mask. No need to upgrade it. And I don't think he's wrong there.
Oh,
although,
yeah, I don't think
maybe a Vlad's? No, they've got a Vlad's already, haven't they? On someone.
I think it'll be Satanic.
No, it's Radiant with the Vlad's on the SB. That's interesting. I do think that Vlad's would have been good for 5 pencils 1 case. Not now, but back at the stage when they were maybe not looking so strong in the early game. A lot of their lockdown was coming from Trolls Bashes, so he'd be melee anyway.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean,
I guess the only reason is there's better stuff to get on everyone. I guess.
Yeah, the Night Stalker and the Axe really don't benefit that much from it, despite being melee carries. The only other carry that's really trying to buff is the TA, and she doesn't get the lifesteal. Of course, Vlad's is about a lot more than lifesteal.
What would you say to Night Stalker getting it now, or do you think he needs to get the BKB first?
I think he should really get the BKB. I think that. Well, actually, I think Night Stalker should get Orchid. I'm going to stand by what I said earlier. I take that back. He's not going to do it, but he should.
Orchid. You're sticking with this.
I'm sticking with it. He should go. He should go the most David item build there is. He should go Orchid and then Scotty.
Yep. You forgot Necrobook and Yules.
No, I'm off Necrobook and Yules. I'm on Orchid and Scotty in this minute.
Okay, all right. Here's my like piercing, insightful question: which heroes in this game should not get Orchid?
Lots. Troll.
Really? You mean that?
Yeah, sure. Troll, Axe, TA.
Goodbye Roshan, and possibly goodbye Queen of Pain as well as a beautiful blink. Cool. They've got the silence going down as well, but they're fighting through living armor, but it's not going to be enough. Oh, there's a Yules. There's a Yules, but there's no blink.
Pain of death.
Nighty.
And go back for the cheese.
I don't think that the Radiant needs Orchid. I think the Dire does.
Okay, is there anyone on the Dire who shouldn't get Orchid? Other than Troll?
And TA. And Axe. There's only 2 heroes that should get Orchid.
Okay.
I'm a reasonable man.
The 2 who already have silences.
Right, yes, exactly.
Okay, yeah. The silence bots.
Against the Yules
as well.
Just for the record, I was all hyped on the Yules last patch and everyone thought I was ridiculous. Now see what happened.
I'm not saying you're ridiculous. And you converted like hundreds of people to Yules.
I did convert hundreds of people.
Like that was really quick and pronounced. Big push on the tier 3 though here. We actually have Spirit Breaker doing a similar thing down on bot lane for Radiant, but just nowhere near as quickly. This is the Rax going down now. They're going to focus on the melee. And they're just going to back out. Spirit Breaker not even able to get the tower down to half health. Oh no, he was. Half health precisely. And going to be giving away a kill on top of that. Do you think Dire needed to back out that quickly?
Gross. Ew.
Do you think that was the right call for Dire?
I don't think they could have fought. Again, though, this split push thing still is not working. Actually, you know what? I think they could have fought. Shadow Fiend did go man to Scotty.
TA maybe being a little bit risky here up on top lane, going through the living armor. There's a Yules coming down as well. It's going to dodge a lot of the Skywrath Arasso. Silence on the Queen is going to see TA just running away. But Queen, following, gets a DOT down, gets a slow.
They could take this fight.
Here's Silencer. Dropping things, but the Scream and Ember managing to drop his ult as well and getting away on very, very low health. Nice ethereal there from the Skywrath Mage to save him from the Axe, but Queen of Spirit Breaker, finished off. And Silencer as well. Ramses gets a beautiful nuke down, dropping that magic nuke onto Durum, onto Flox, but here comes Otter coming in for the nuke, and there's cheese on this Axe. Ramses forced to back out.
Yeah, he saw the cheese too late. He started going on the Axe, realized it happened, started going on the Night Stalker, but it was too late.
And it's still not over, as they're chasing Queen through the jungle. And is that Deso? Yeah, that's Deso crit on the TA. Dangerous stuff.
Yeah,
that fight went wrong because the Shadow Fiend did a lot right. Was a little late in popping his BKB, but then he chased the Silencer all the way out over here when the rest of the fight was happening. Managed to come back and get his ult down, but he really shouldn't have chased him that far out after his ult was down.
Oh, Ember almost making it away from the troll, finished off by TA. And Afterlife. Slowed, killed, served for breakfast. And that's a call from Zonda.
A little bit of flame.
Ooh, that flame from the troll. Big crowns.
It all started because the Shadow Fiend question marked the TA at the beginning.
He then
Don't,
immediately said good game, so I'm thinking that may have been a misclick. I don't know.
No, at the very beginning when the TA gave first blood.
Oh,
Question marked her.
Well, yeah,
Don't do
GG,
that.
well played.
Yep.
So can't describe, not the storming victory that we were perhaps expecting, looking at the bookies, but a very well played game, and congratulations to 5 Pencils 1C for making it into the quarterfinals. Any final thoughts, guys?
If you get a
Bantrol.
Skywrath Mage, have someone with a reliable stun.
Yeah.
Why do you have him then?
Yeah.
Oh. Lockdown.
She may be onto something. Also, just ban Troll. Ban Troll.
Just ban him. Meh.
Just ban him. No one he's not a fun hero. No one wants to see him. Just ban him.
Yeah, that IO ban.
Ugly.
But yeah, GG, thanks for everyone for tuning in. We will be going straight back into a quarterfinal game very, very shortly. I'm just going to pop the music and such on in the meantime. Are you guys sticking around for the next game?
I am not.
Okay.
I have to go feed my family.
Okay, damn your family. But thanks very much for tuning in, helping out, and see everyone next time.